What's up, my dear boys and girls, it's your Ranger Boy here, and welcome to another discussion video, and yay! After nearly 2 weeks of not having any internet connection at all, I'm finally back! So why not starting my glorious resurrection from the dead with a, golden discussion video? Okay, let's be a little bit serious right now. In today's video, we're tackling why the potential new Dragon Ball anime in 2019 will kinda be like the current Sun and Moon anime. I want to discuss similarities, differences, and what exactly the potential new Dragon Ball anime has already done right in comparison to Sun and Moon. If you want to know more, then grab some popcorn, grab some cookies, and let's do this! First of all, why do I even expect the Dragon Ball anime to be like Sun and Moon? Only because the movie has a different art style and animation doesn't automatically mean that the upcoming anime will be the same. I mean, look at the Sun and Moon anime. It has a totally different approach in animation, while both the I Choose You movie and Everyone's Story movie couldn't be more different. But in my opinion, it would be more than logical to start the 2019 Dragon Ball anime with this specific art style. To understand exactly what I'm talking about, let me clarify the reasons why exactly the animation of Sun and Moon changed so drastically compared to XY. An article on Anime News Network, link in the description down below, explained the history of Pokemon's animation. In regards of the drastic transition between XY and Sun and Moon, they explained it like the following. Animator-friendly character designs are important for developing a broader range of visual expressions, but streamlining production is paramount for a quality final product. The most common reason for lackluster animation in a weekly series is time restraints and the increasingly bad scheduling that's making anime more and more difficult to produce. Softer line work, a rounder face, and a fun bank of expressions were essential in creating Pokemon's new look, not only giving characters the ability to perform more actions, but also broader comedic expressions, a core part of the new series. This has allowed for a higher level of animation consistency in general. And especially the last part in regards of animation consistency is my main reason why I believe the Dragon Ball anime will have the same animation as the movie. For the people who are not Dragon Ball fans, let me tell you, one of Dragon Ball Super's main criticisms was that throughout the Battle of Gods arc and the Resurrection F arc, the animation art style was really inconsistent, if not downright bad. Do I even have to mention episode 5 and parts of Resurrection F? And that was due to time restraints and bad scheduling. They announced Dragon Ball Super only 3 months after the Resurrection F movie. But with the new 2019 anime potentially having the same approach as the movie and Sun and Moon, they will easily avoid this backlash because this new art style allows fluidity and consistency in animation. But Long, how did you even realize that the Dragon Ball movie has a similar approach in animation like Sun and Moon? Well, that's because the designs of both Sun and Moon and the Dragon Ball movie just look very similar. Easy answer. But there was one scene which totally convinced me that it will be similar. Let's watch, shall we? This scene right here, these few frames of animation immediately reminded me of Sun and Moon. This scene shows Goku delivering a very impactful emotion through the detailed animation of his eyes, and delivering impactful emotions through facial expressions and especially through eyes is commonplace in Sun and Moon. So even though it's not a 100% confirmation that the potential new Dragon Ball anime will be like Sun and Moon, there are good hints and benefits that lean towards my assumption. But what is the danger of this animation style? When I quoted Anime News Network, I mentioned things like broader range of visual expressions and a fun bank of comedic expressions. And now to the Dragon Ball fans who don't know Pokemon, that is one of the main criticisms of the Sun and Moon anime, that the anime itself concentrates so much on facial comedic expressions combined with bad and sometimes even useless slice of life segments that the plot itself suffers because of that. Don't get me wrong, there are good slice of life and comedy in Sun and Moon, but for the most part it was not really beneficial to the plot and even influenced it on a negative way. And this could be a potential danger for Dragon Ball, that they focus so much on comedy and slice of life that the plot will suffer. But in my opinion, Dragon Ball will not encounter that problem. Why? Because unlike the Pokemon franchise, the Dragon Ball franchise is experienced in how to execute good and sometimes even excellent slice of life. The Yamcha baseball episode, the Arale episode, the Great Saiyaman, the Pan episode. Of course, not every franchise is perfect, and even Dragon Ball had some bad fillers, but for the most part, I myself really enjoyed the slice of life of Dragon Ball Super, and the new animation will make them even more enjoyable. But before I will end my video while also preparing for the rage, of both Sun and Moon fans and Dragon Ball fans in my comment section, let me explain what the upcoming Dragon Ball anime already did right compared to Sun and Moon, if they will adapt the new art style and animation of the movie into the 2019 anime. Again, for Dragon Ball fans who don't know Pokemon, when the new art style of Pokemon Sun and Moon was revealed, people were furious. Most of the fandom hated it. Until this day, they still hate it. And yes, I was part of that hate mob as well. I humbly admit that. One reason for that hate was because that the anime itself didn't properly prepare the fans to that change. The announcement of the Sun and Moon anime came out on the 12th of September of 2016 and was released on November of that year, which means the fans only had 2 months to mentally prepare themselves from the highly stylized, serious and action-packed season of XYZ to the more light-hearted, comedic and visually more simplistic Sun and Moon. And they really expected from the fans to just swallow that? Of course there will be outrage. How can you not expect backlash, you fucking...
We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Sorry guys, I got a little bit emotional again. Anyway, in my opinion, the latest installment of the Dragon Ball franchise will not have this problem, because they properly prepared the fans to this change by presenting it as a movie. By doing that, they can show off the advantages of this new animation with action right from the start, instead of slowly and boringly building it up like an anime would do. Also, as of now, the Dragon Ball franchise will take a break until December of 2018, and because of that, not only does the animation staff have way more time to just, you know, spray all the animation goodness all over the faces of their fans, pause, but thanks to that break, fans will be craving for more Dragon Ball, and therefore they will be more willing to accept the new art style, because they will wait for such a long time. But to the credit of Sun and Moon, sadly Pokemon doesn't really have this luxury of taking a 1-year break, because the anime has a schedule and always has to come out by the time the games come out to promote the game and merchandise. So even though in my opinion a hiatus between XYZ and Sun and Moon would have been a much better way to mentally prepare the fans to this animation, I totally understand why there was no way they could do that. Anyway guys, I really hope you enjoyed this little discussion video, and like always, and thank God, finally, I can't wait to see my boys and girls again in the comment section down below. Bye guys!